If you've just logged into Softr and feel overwhelmed, then you're in the right place. Welcome to Softr for Beginners, where in the next 15 minutes, we'll learn how to build custom software for your business from scratch. And we won't be writing a single line of code to do it. In this tutorial, we'll walk through building a simple web app from start to finish. Along the way, you'll learn to navigate Softr's interface, use templates, add content blocks, connect to data using Softr's new built-in database, enable user accounts, set up basic automations using Zapier, preview its brand new AI assistant, and learn how to take your site live. Each chapter is packed with examples, on-screen demos, tips, and best practices. Here's our plan for the video. You'll find the timestamps in the description of this video. Oh, and before we dive in, the team at Softr was kind enough to create a special offer just for you. You can get 1 month of Softr's professional plan completely free by using the coupon code GEORGE. To redeem it, just use my link in the description to sign up. Then, in the subscription section of your new accounts, choose the monthly professional plan, enter the code GEORGE, and the price will automatically drop to $0. Not only will you get to try out all the advanced features we'll cover in this video for free, but you'll also be supporting the channel. It's a win-win. One last thing before we get started, we'll be using Softr to build a client portal. In short, we want an app where new users can sign up for an account, log into that account, view a personalized list of data, such as sample projects or tasks, and submit new data using a built-in form. So let's get started. Click on the link in the video description to arrive at Softr's homepage. Click Get Started Free to create your accounts. You can sign up using an email address or your Google account. After that, Softr will ask you to fill out a short questionnaire so it can optimize your user experience. You'll be asked whether you would like to explore the app on your own or schedule a call with a sales representative. I'll be exploring on my own. Let's use a template to get a head start. Click Start with a template. Chapter 1. Templates. Softr provides dozens of pre-built app templates covering hundreds of use cases, from CRM systems to job boards to client portals. A template is essentially a pre-made app with pages, design, and even sample data and logic already set up. You can use it as a foundation and then customize it to your needs. Choosing a template, you'll see a gallery of templates broken into 9 categories: portals, internal tools, dashboards, CRMs, marketplaces, member communities, directories, websites, and forms. What you'll see on this first page depends on how you fill out the questionnaire. Since I said I wanted to build a portal, I have several different portal templates to choose from. If your page looks different, don't worry. Simply click Portals on the toolbar. For this tutorial, let's use the client portal. Clicking on Preview or the template itself opens a new window where you now have the option to explore the template before using it. Clicking Open Preview in the lower right corner will open the template in a new browser tab, or clicking Use Template to cut right to the chase. Let's get started. After you click Use Template, it will take Softr a few seconds to spin up a copy of your website. Once loaded, you now have a working starter app. Now, before we start customizing this portal, let's take some time to familiarize ourselves with Softr's dashboard and the App Builder's UI. Let's look at the dashboard first. Click the Home icon in the upper right corner. Chapter 2. Dashboard and App Builder Overview. Workspace and Apps. Softr organizes projects into workspaces. Your first workspace was created when you signed up for an account. Inside this workspace, you can create multiple applications. Apps. Think of a workspace like a folder and each app as a separate document within that folder. Important. Each app contains its own pages, data, and users. Data and users are not necessarily shared between apps in the same workspace. We will gain a better understanding of how data works in Softr when we get to Chapter 4, Understanding Data. This screen is Softr's dashboard. Sandwiched in the top right corner, you will see your account icon. Clicking on that icon lets you access your account settings. Below that, you'll have the ability to create a new app by starting from scratch, choosing a template, or generating with AI. Since we're using the free plan, we are limited to 1 app. A very neat feature of Softr is its free tutorials or courses. As you can see, I currently have a 4-video course to help me build a client portal. Depending on the category your template is from, you'll always have a couple of videos to help you get started. But these videos are just the tip of the iceberg. Click on View Course and you'll see that this course actually contains 19 different videos. While some of these are short, barely 2 minutes, others are almost 20 minutes long. Courses like this are available for every category and will help you build any app from start to finish. Let's close that tab and head back to the dashboard. You'll see our client portal right here. Hover over it and click the 3 dots, where you can duplicate the app, add collaborators, move the app to a new workspace, create a new template based on this app, or delete it. Let's click on the image to open the app editor. The Softr Studio. This opens the Softr Studio editor, which has a few key areas. Left sidebar. This is where you manage your app structure and design. At the top of the sidebar, you'll have a Pages section, which lists all the pages and screens in your app. Below that is the Theme section. Here, you can set global styles. Colors, where you can choose text, accents, and background colors. Fonts. Decide what fonts you want to use for headings and body text. Select fonts that match your brand. These settings apply across the entire app. Settings. A lot is going on here. Rather than go through all of these in depth right now, I will offer a 1-sentence explanation of each. General, where you can rename your app, manage subdomains, add a logo, and favicon, the icon that appears when a page is bookmarked, and toggle software branding. Make sure this is off and click Save before continuing. Custom domain. Add this app to a custom domain by following the on-screen instructions. Integrations. Install, manage, and remove third-party applications. Mobile app, where you can optimize the app for mobile by giving it a unique name, logo, and style. Comments. Enable, manage, and disable comments throughout the app. SEO. Prepare your app to be indexed by search engines by improving its page titles and meta descriptions. Custom code, where you can add custom code to enhance functionality outside the scope of this tutorial. Data and locale. Date, time, zone, and language settings. App history. View and restore previous versions of the app. Advanced settings. 2 toggleable settings outside the scope of this tutorial. Leave them as is. Okay, so now that we have a good understanding of the left sidebar, let's look at the center of the editor, or the canvas. Canvas, center. The main area in the middle is the preview of the current page you're editing. This is where you will drag and arrange content. You'll see a default page. You can click on elements on the canvas to edit text or settings. Top bar. In the right corner, you can preview the app as an end user or publish changes to the app. There's also an option to add guest collaborators to the app. Next to that is a little green check mark. Hover over it and it will say all changes saved. Changes to the app, specific pages, or individual lines of content will be saved automatically. Users, where you can add, view, manage, and remove people with access to the app. Data, where you can manage all the data shared with this application. Interface, another name for the UI builder. Right sidebar, where you select any block or page, a panel appears on the right that displays its settings. This is where you fine-tune your app. For example, let's click on the header, and the right sidebar displays its source, lets you change its content, text, images, fields, set actions, manage styles, and toggle visibility settings. Take a moment to familiarize yourself. Click around the template page and see the structure. Notice how the page is composed of blocks, pre-designed sections or widgets, such as headers, lists, tables, forms, charts, galleries, and text sections. Don't worry about making any changes yet. We'll do that soon. The key takeaway is that Softr's UI is visual and intuitive. You have pages made of blocks, and you configure everything with clicks, not code. If you've ever used a website builder like Wix or Squarespace, then this should be familiar. If not, don't worry, I'll walk you through it step by step. Speaking of blocks, let's see how to add and customize blocks, starting from scratch. Chapter 3, drag and drop basics. So we don't mess with any of the pre-existing pages. Let's create a new blank page to play around with while we learn the basics. Adding a new page. In the left sidebar under Pages, click the plus icon near the search bar. Name the new page Test Page. The URL will update automatically. Click Save, and the empty page will open automatically. Let's play around with our blank canvas. Adding blocks to a page. Since we created a new empty page, the Browse Blocks interface will already be open. Let's click the X in the upper right corner real quick. In the future, you'll click on the black plus icon in this corner to pull up the block menu. Let's open it back up. Softr divides blocks into 3 categories: static, dynamic, and container. Static blocks are those that don't connect to any data source. For example, a hero header, a frequently asked questions page, or a call to action block. In static blocks, content must be filled in manually. Dynamic blocks are tied to data, such as lists, tables, and charts, which display collections of records and populate automatically. Container blocks are simply a way to group and manage both static and dynamic blocks. For now, let's use a simple static block to get started. Under Static, open Hero and click on Hero with Call to Action. The design will appear on the canvas. Now let's try adding another block below it. Hover over the Hero block and click the plus icon underneath it. This will reopen the Browse Block menu with the location of our new block already pre-selected. Let's open Dynamic and add List from the Suggested Blocks section. Since we don't have data linked to our app yet, a placeholder list containing dummy items will be displayed. Rearranging blocks is easy. Hover over the block you want to move and use the up or down arrow to do so. Customizing blocks. Click on the hero block we added. On the right sidebar, you'll see options to edit the text, e.g. the title, subtitle, button text, and images, background, and the other image. Go ahead and change the title text to something like Hello Softr. You'll see the canvas update live. Let's also change the background color. Click on the Styles tab in the right sidebar, and under General, change the background color with the slider. I'll make it a teal blue. Let's head down to our list block. Since it's not connected to data yet, the changes we make are very limited. You'll see the Content and Actions tabs are grayed out. Aside from adjusting the margins and background color, there isn't much we can do. Let's leave it as is. Now, don't worry about making everything perfect. After all, this page is your sandbox to get comfortable with drag and drop. The key point to walk away with from this section is that building in Softr is modular. You add blocks for each piece of functionality or content, then tweak them to fit your app. As one final example, see the requested demo button in the hero block? Click on it. Under Features and Buttons, you'll see an ability to change the text and add an action. Let's click Add Action, select Page, and scrolling through the drop-down menu, Schedule Meeting. By now, you've created new content on a page and edited it. Great job. Next, we'll tackle the backbone of all apps, using and managing data. Chapter 4, Understanding Data. Data is the heart of all applications. In Softr, your app's content, like lists of projects, tasks, users, etc., comes from a data source. Softr is highly flexible, allowing you to connect external sources such as Airtable, Google Sheets, Notion, and SQL databases, as well as Softr's new built-in feature called Softr Databases. We'll use Softr's built-in database for simplicity, but know that if you already have data in Airtable or Google Sheets, you can connect those too. The reason we're using Softr Databases is quite simple. It is faster. If you use an external source, Softr will still fetch and sync data. However, for technical reasons that I won't go into, there will be slight delays. For beginners, Softr's built-in data is the easiest place to start, and you can always mix sources or switch later for more advanced data processing. Creating a data table. In the top bar, click on Data. Under Available to Use, click on Softr Databases. Clicking the plus icon next to Available to Use lets you add a new data source, e.g. Google Sheets. Clicking the plus icon next to Softr Databases lets you create a new table. After creating a new table, let's give it a name. Double-click where it says Table 1. Let's name it Projects and click Save. Think of this table as a simple spreadsheet. You will see columns, fields, and rows, records. New tables include several default fields, such as name, description, and status. Adding new fields is easy. Let's add one for due date and another for completed. Click Add Field and select Date from the drop-down menu. I'll name it Due Date and click Save. I'll follow the same steps to add a completed field. With that complete, let's move on to the next step. Adding records. Let's enter some sample data. I'll have 3 names: Project Alpha, Project Beta, and Project Gamma. The description for each will be Setup Website. The first one will be marked as In Progress, and the other 2 will be marked as To Do. I'll set the due dates for the next 3 Fridays. Now, let's do something with our data. Connecting data to a block. Click on Interface in the top bar to return to the page where we added the list block in the previous section. Click on the list block and look at the right sidebar. The source should already be connected to Softr databases. Select the database we created and choose Projects under Table. Instantly, the list block on your page will add the records from your projects table. By default, the list displays the project name with a blank image, its status, and a description. If you want to add the other fields, then switch to Content on the right side. Then under Item Fields, click Add and toggle Completed and Due Date on. There we go. Your list is now dynamic. It's pulling live data from the Softr database. If you add another record to the data table, it will automatically show up on this list, especially once published with real-time updates. Filtering and sorting data. Briefly, Softr allows you to display only specific records or order them via block settings. For example, you can set a filter such as completed by simply selecting it from the drop-down menu of Filter By. We won't go too deep here. You can add custom code to get really fancy, but be aware that you can tailor what each block shows. Congratulations! You've built a mini database and a front-end display without any code or external services. If this were a real client portal, each client could log in and see their own list of records. We'll cover how to restrict data per user when we discuss permissions in a future chapter. For now, let's set up user accounts. Chapter 5: User Authentication and Permissions. Most apps, especially portals or internal tools, require user accounts so clients or team members can sign up, log in, and see private content. Let's see how. Adding a sign up and login form. Softr provides pre-built blocks for user authentication. Let's add a sign up form and a login form to our app. Often, templates include these in utility pages. Let's open Pages in the upper left and see what we've got. It looks like we have a login page, but no sign up form. Let's fix that. Pro tip, this is an account setting issue. Open the Users tab at the top of the page and open Authentication. In the Sign Up section, change the sign up process to Open. The change will be saved automatically. Let's reopen the interface and navigate to Pages. There we go. Now there's a login and sign up page. Utility pages are pre-designed pages to facilitate core functions of the web app and save you time. In other words, why spend the time and effort learning how to build a sign-up form if it can just be done for you? These pages are already configured to handle the user creation and login process. Using these utility pages comes with an added benefit. Softr will handle password storage and session management all on its own. You don't need to set up any servers for that. All right, now that we've got our pages, let's test them. Testing user sign-up and login forms. Go to preview mode and ensure in the upper left corner that you're viewing as a non-logged in user. Follow the account creation process and see if there are any issues. Try signing up as a new user. If everything's set, you'll need to verify your email address, create a username and password, and since we used the template, be redirected to the new account's personal dashboard. Success! Okay, now try logging out. Click on your test account's information in the bottom right and select Sign Out. That should redirect you to the login screen. Enter your information to make sure everything's working right. Pro tip, we have already seen that Softr automatically handles verification emails, but it also handles password reset requests on another utility page. And we're back. Now that user accounts are up and running, let's see how to manage them. Exit out of that tab, and let's pull the Softr Studio back up. User management. As the app administrator, you can manage users while in the Softr Studio. Open users on the top bar. Here, you can view the list of registered users and manually add users by clicking Add Users in the upper right corner. Each user has the following fields: email, name, account creation date, last seen time, synced, status, user groups, creation method, and auto method by default. You can group users by creating roles. User groups. Softr uses user groups to control permission. Pull the user groups menu up while you're at it. By default, there are only two groups: visitors, non-logged in users, and logged in users. Everyone with an account is automatically assigned into the logged in users group when they're signed in. You can create custom user groups for more granular roles: admins, clients, or team members. Custom groups can be static, where users are manually assigned, or dynamic, where users are assigned based on rules, such as an attribute or subscription. Let's head back to the interface so we can talk about permissions. Permissions, page and block visibility. We can now restrict parts of the app to certain groups. For example, the projects page should be visible only to clients. Let's make sure this is set up properly. Hover over the page's name and click the gear icon to bring up page settings. Toward the bottom of this, you will see visibility. Open it. This page is only visible to people who are logged in and have the group admin, client, or employee. It looks like we're all set. Pro tip, if visitors to attempt to access this page or other restricted pages, they'll be automatically redirected to the login page. Visibility settings don't only apply to pages. Each block also has a visibility setting. For instance, let's pull up the test page we created earlier. Let's leave the hero banner visible to all, but let's click on the project lists. The last setting is visibility, and we can change this to logged in users and grant permissions to employee and admin. There. Now, this chart is only visible to team members. You now have a fully operational membership system where users can sign up, log in, and access protected content. By utilizing Softr's user-friendly group permissions, you can control which content is visible to each user. This ensures that individuals only access the data they're permitted to see, which is an essential feature for client portals. So far, we have gathered our pieces: pages, blocks, data, and user settings. Now, let's tie it together by creating a mini app. This will reinforce what we covered and give you a real app to show for your work. Chapter 6, putting it all together. All right, let's try to combine everything we've got into a fully functional app. Currently, projects are restricted to clients, administrators, and employees only. However, we still have a problem. Clients can view anyone's projects. This is obviously a non-starter. They should only be able to view their projects. There's also a second problem. Clients have no way to submit questions, request edits, or place a new work order. Let's get to work. Setting up personalized data, advanced filters. If every client should only see their own projects, we need a way to assign projects to specific users. The simple approach is to add a field to the projects table for the owner, which could be an email address, a link to the user, a unique project ID, or something else. Pull up Data and bring up the projects table. Let's create a field called Owner Email. For Project Alpha, I'll input the email address I used to register an account. Okay, let's go back to the interface and see if we can get this working. Pull up our test page again and click on the lists. Under Source, look for Conditional Filters. Click the plus icon to add a new condition. Our condition should read Owner Email is sample email. And there, now it only displays Project Alpha. Before we move on, open the list blocks in visibility settings. The client user group is disabled, meaning that our test account could only see its projects. Still, we're only halfway. We still need to create a form to create a new project. Let's get to it. Adding a form. Make sure you're still on the test page. Underneath the list we just edited permissions for, click the plus icon. On the Add Block menu, open Forms and select Censored. The form will generate its questions using the fields laid out in the projects table. While a good start, there are a few things we'll want to change. First things first, let's remove the date and time question by clicking on Questions. Hovering over it, clicking the red trash can, and confirming. Delete options. These will require manual inputs, but it'll save a lot of headaches. Now, let's click on Email. Open Map to and select Owner Email. This conditional does your work for you. In short, it means that the email someone inputs here will automatically enable them to view their project once it has been created. You'll also want to map names to name. As confusing as that sounds, it simply ensures that data is successfully synced to the project table. We're still not done. Let's delete Select and add a new field. Select Input. This will only let us browse fields that already exist in our table. Let's add the description field. Now, we don't have to map this input like the other two because it's already directly tied to a recognizable field in the table. Now we've got this form set up properly. There's no reason for a client to fill out the other 3 data points. Ensure that you add a title and a description to the form. Select Heading 1 and Text under Questions, and you will see an editable text box. I'll name my form Submit Project, and the text, fill out this form to start a new project today. The fields will update automatically. If you want, you can customize the form and the block further by changing the font, the background image, the thank you message that pops up when the form is submitted, and what happens when the form is submitted, e.g. open page, test page. That way, they'd be able to see their project in the list. Awesome! In a short time, you created a multi-page app with authentication, a database, and the ability for users to create data. At this point, the hardest part is over. You've assembled the core of the application. Next, we'll explore automating features to make your app even more powerful. Chapter 7, Workflow and Automation. Building the app is one thing, but automating tasks and workflows is something else entirely. Softr has features that allow you to add logic and integrate with other services, enabling your app to perform automated tasks, such as sending an email when a form is submitted or updating a record in another system. Let's see how. Built-in actions. Softr's actions enable your app to perform create, delete, update, delete operations, and more with button clicks and form submissions. For example, open Pages and navigate to the Projects page, not our test page, the one actually called Projects. Click on the first block and you will see the actions in the middle of the block settings. Open it. Since there are no top bar buttons or item buttons, those fields are blank. Under Item on Click, however, we can see a detailed chain of actions. Open Details page, Project Details, same tab. In other words, that means when someone clicks on one of the projects, it will pull up the project's details without opening a new tab. You can probably see how this would work with top buttons and item buttons. For example, if there were a header with a navigation menu, then there would be top bar buttons. As for buttons, we have already seen this on the test page. When someone submits the form, the action is to open page, test page, which pulls up the project lists with their project now visible. There's also an action button type called Call API, which can trigger a webhook or external API call on lists. These are more advanced code-based solutions, but it's helpful to know that you've got options. For example, each project listed on our test page could have a link to Google Docs, a website under construction, or some other third-party application. We will see more on this in the next example. External automation, Zapier. Softr integrates nicely with automation tools like Zapier. This means you can easily connect your Softr app with thousands of other apps, such as Gmail, Slack, Airtable, Google Docs, etc., without writing any code. For example, let's create an automation that sends the data from a submitted form in Softr to another app. If you don't have a Zapier account, don't worry. You get a 14-day free trial whenever you sign up. Once you have a Zapier account set up, click the orange plus icon in the upper left corner labeled Create. Select Zaps. This will bring up an automated workflow that syncs with Softr. Set up Zapier trigger. For the trigger, select the event that starts your Zap, search for webhooks, and confirm the choice. After that, you'll be prompted to adjust the event settings on the right. Under Trigger Events, select Catch Hook and press Continue. Configure Softr form to send to Zapier. Let's head back to our test page in Softr. Open our Submit Project form and under Settings, change the destination from Data Source to Zapier. Head back over to Zapier and make sure to open the Test tab of the Catch Hook trigger. Copy the generated webhook URL and back in Softr, paste the link in the field beneath Send to Zapier. This will send the form to Zapier after it is submitted. Zapier action. Now define what Zapier should do with the form. For example, add an action step such as send email via Gmail. Select Gmail as the app, set the action event to send email, and connect to Gmail account by signing in. You then configure the action by filling out the required fields for the form. Once that's done, click Continue. Now, click Tests to make sure everything is running correctly. It says the email should be sitting in our inbox. And there it is. Now, every time a user submits that Softr form, the Zap will run, sending an email notification. This was just an example. We should head back over to the test page and reroute the form to its original location. Data source, software databases, untitled database, projects. Even as a no-code beginner, tools like Zapier let you connect with more than 8,000 apps. With Zapier, you have the option to keep your app as simple as possible or to expand its capabilities by integrating it into a larger ecosystem. The choice, as always, is up to you. Now let's cover a perhaps more niche use of your app, to collect payments from customers. Chapter 8, Accepting Payments. Softr has built-in payment integration blocks. You can monetize your app by integrating with payment providers like Stripe for credit card payments or PayPal. You'll need to connect your Stripe or PayPal accounts in Settings, Integrations, Stripe, or PayPal. Follow the on-screen instructions to link your payment processor to Softr. With that done, let's go over a couple of common scenarios and I'll show you how to handle them in Softr. Paid membership or gated content. Pages can be restricted to paying customers by creating a group in the users section, e.g. bronze, silver, gold, platinum roles to denote different privileges. You can use Softr's Stripe integration to charge for membership and automatically grant the proper role. For example, let's create a new block on the test page. Under Dynamic, open Payments, and select Simple Billing block. When a user pays for a plan, you can configure Softr to put them in a user group, setting up a webhook in Zapier to trigger when someone purchases a plan. It will then assign them a group based on the set parameters. After member pages are ready to go, use the visibility block setting to hide them from non-paying customers. If you're looking for a step-by-step guide, then Softr has you covered. Check out the support article, Add Users to User Groups Based on Stripe Attributes. I'll include a link to the guide in the video description. Selling products or services. If your app is more e-commerce oriented, you can use the simple checkout form block. One-off payments or tips. If you're creating a site where you don't want to charge a recurring membership or require a purchase to access specific pages, then you can use the Buy Me a Coffee integration as a quick way to accept small donations and tips from thankful patrons. This can be a great option if you're working for a nonprofit or working on a passion project. Although adding Buy Me a Coffee is relatively straightforward, it does require adding a line of code to ensure it runs properly. I'll include a link in the description to a Softr tutorial. Make sure that you test your payment flow with Stripe's test mode to verify everything works correctly, and always clearly communicate to users what they're paying for. All right, now that your app is starting to come together, let's take a step back and take a look at some broader design tips and tricks. Chapter 9, Design and Branding. Now that the app functions, let's make it look good and align with your brand. Softr allows for extensive design customization without requiring any code, theme, and branding. In the Softr Studio, click on Theme in the left sidebar. Here you can set global styles. Though we talked about this briefly in Chapter 2, it bears repeating and expanding on it here. Colors. Choose primary and secondary colors. The primary color, called text, applies to all text, as well as links and highlights. Set it to your brand color. Accents, meanwhile, allows you to set the color of buttons. Fonts. Softr allows you to select various fonts for the headings and body text. Select fonts that match your brand. This will apply across all blocks, though you can always create an exception for important pages or blocks you want to stand out. By adjusting these theme settings, you can transform the template's look to be uniquely yours in seconds. Logos and images. In Settings, General Settings, upload your logo and favicon. Your logo will appear in the header and navigation menu of your site. For the favicon, make sure to use a 32 by 32 or 64 by 64 PNG for best results. After uploading, make sure to preview the app as a visitor and user and make sure everything looks good. Go through and replace all the template's placeholder images with relevant images for your contents. While this might sound like a no-brainer, you'd be surprised how often people simply stick with the template's default choices. Don't be one of them. Instead, put in the time to create an app that stands out. To make this a bit easier for you, Softr also has an asset library where you can manage the images and files you've uploaded. To find a library, click on an image or video. I'll click on the image in the hero block of the test page. Select the image on the right and the asset library will open. You can use stock photos and illustrations, generate photos with AI, or manually upload assets. Once an image or video is on your website, you will see it under My Assets. Page layout and navigation. Ensure your navigation menu and buttons redirect to the proper page if they redirect to a page at all. This means going through your site, page by page and line by line to ensure everything works. Mobile responsiveness. Softr blocks are optimized for mobile by default, but it's a good practice to preview your app on mobile devices. Let's open up the test page and click on preview. At the top of the page, in the center, you'll see the option to switch between desktop, tablet, and mobile views. Check that blocks stack nicely, text isn't cut off, and buttons are tappable on all devices. If something looks off, you have two options. Sometimes Softr lets you resize or adjust block layouts for mobile devices only. This is very inconsistent and does not apply across all blocks. What you can always do, however, is disable a block on mobile. Click the block you want to hide, open visibility, and deselect the device you don't want to display the block on. Once you're done, your app should reflect your branding. Your logo is in place, there are consistent colors and fonts, and every button, link, and redirect is placed exactly where it should be. Now, your app is ready to be shared with the world. Before we do that, however, I want to highlight some of Softr's features that we didn't get a chance to explore in this video. Chapter 10, AI features and smart extras. Softr is adding AI capabilities to help you build faster. You also have the option to integrate AI into your app. Let's explore a couple of these smart features. AI-assisted design and content. Within the editor, Softr integrates with OpenAI for generating content and images. For example, when you're editing an image field, like a block's background image, Softr provides an asset generator option. You can enter a prompt and it will create an image for you. Similarly, for any text fields, there's an AI copy generator. You can ask it to write text for you. Say you need a tagline for your hero section, give the AI a hint, and it will suggest text. These features help speed up content creation, especially if you're not a designer or a writer. Keep in mind that AI suggestions will need editing, but they still provide an excellent starting point. Chatbot integration. What if you want a conversational AI, like ChatGPT, inside your app? While Softr doesn't have a one-click chat block yet, it is possible to achieve this via embedding third-party widgets or using custom code. Many Softr users embed AI chatbots using tools like Zapier chatbots. Essentially, you'd add a custom block with the chatbot's embed scripts. For instance, Zapier offers a way to create a chatbot that connects to OpenAI. You can then paste the embed code into Softr. The Softr community has threads on this. This is a bit advanced, but I mentioned it to spark your imagination. You can have a ChatGPT-like helper in your app that can answer user questions and convert leads. Other extras. Softr has many integrations that we haven't covered, such as embedding a Google Map block, integrating Crisp or Intercom for live chat support within your app, or adding Google Analytics or a Facebook Pixel for tracking app analytics, or collecting data from an external website or app. While these are beyond the scope of this tutorial, I want to emphasize that we've only scratched the surface here. Softr is an app builder with the customizability you would expect from a leading web design platform like Wix or Squarespace. If you can think of a feature, you can almost certainly create it using Softr or connect an app that can. Now, before I walk you through launching your application, let me introduce you to Softr's newest feature, a built-in AI assistant that your users can interact with in real time. Chapter 11, the new in-app AI assistants. Softr's AI assistants used to be relegated to back-end duties, generating apps from scratch and offering design and content creation suggestions. Until now. With the latest update, it's now possible for end users to interact with the AI assistants in real time. Here are the 3 main reasons to use the new feature. It's built in. There's no complicated setup required. Other AI tools make you manage API keys or force you to build complex prompt chains. Softr's AI is already part of your application. Just toggle it on. It reads your actual data, pulls from the live data inside your app, and gives real-time answers based on that data. Secure by default and respects permissions. The assistant only accesses the data that each user is allowed to see. That means there is no accidental data exposure to an unintended recipient, and it is always aligned with your app's visibility and permissioning rules. For this demonstration, I'll be using a pre-made CRM customer relationship management template for Clearflow Water Solutions, a commercial water treatment and filtration company. Here, we've got a block detailing all the details currently in the sales pipeline. Rather than manually sorting through all of this data, let's add the AI assistants. I'll click on the block, open Actions, select Add Top Bar button, and click Ask AI. Click Enable to confirm, and that's it. The button has been added here at the top of the page. Now, I'll click Preview in the upper right corner. Opening the AI assistant from a regular user's view, it'll suggest a few prompts, but we can ask it anything. For example, I'll ask it to summarize deals at the proposal stage. It'll take a couple of seconds to sort through the data, but there we go. Putting the power of AI at the fingertips of your team and potential clients will help optimize your workflow and save valuable time. All right, now that we've taken a look at Softr's newest AI feature, let's round out the video by launching your new app. Chapter 12, Going Live. Click the home icon in the upper left corner, pull up your client portal, and let's get right into it. Publishing the app. Once you're happy with your app and have exhaustively tested its functionality, click the Publish button top right. The first time you publish, Softr will assign your app a default URL called a subdomain. It will tell you the exact URL after publishing. If you have a custom domain, you can add it to this menu. Click the link under Custom Domain and look to the left sidebar. You'll be asked to input your domain and verify your ownership. Since I don't have a custom domain for this website, I'm going to head back to Publish and send it by clicking Publish. Congratulations! Your site is now live. Go ahead and open the live URL by clicking the little arrow next to the subdomain on the right side. That will take us to the login portal page. Now is the time to test everything one more time, this time on the live side, just to ensure it behaves the same way as the preview. Now, your app is live on the internet for whoever you share the URL with. Congratulations! Remember, you can continue editing in Softr Studio and republish changes at any time. Changes in Softr aren't live until you hit Publish again, which is nice. You can work on improvements without affecting the live app until ready. You can also create a duplicate app as a staging or test version if you want to try big changes without running the risk of breaking your app. You now have a solid foundation in Softr. You know how to navigate Softr's interface, use templates, add content blocks, connect to data using Softr's new built-in database or external sources, enable user accounts, set up basic automations with Zapier, use the new AI assistant to help you and your users sort through data, and know how to take your site live. Now, there's always more to learn, and as a beginner, the best way to learn is to put it into practice. Start building an app today and refer back to the chapters of this tutorial whenever you need a refresher. Share this video or specific tips with anyone else involved so everyone stays on the same page. And finally, if you found this tutorial helpful, the best way to support me and my channel is by signing up to Softr using the link in the video description. Thank you very much. I hope it was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.